Hello, my friends. Oh, you're a little dirty. Hold on. I am kicking off another Buzzword reading vlog. If you have tuned in this entire year or even just one time, you know I usually start it out with my mom. Oh my God, where is she? I am starting this vlog solo today. We are gonna go book shopping together. I'm gonna read something for the challenge. We're gonna buy some books. We're gonna do everything as usual. But first, I'm gonna start out with reading a book because my mom is currently reading a book and I realized that this book fits for the Buzzword challenge. So this isn't at all what I was planning on reading for this vlog, but I figured I would pick up The Tainted Cup today. This is by Robert Jackson Bennett. Everyone tells me I'm gonna like this. My mom selected this for me. If you know the lore, I'll re-explain it if you don't. Last year, at the end of the year, I was reading a book from each of the Goodreads choice categories, and every single category had a different prompt. I got to pick one, you guys got to pick one, my mom got to pick one. And when it came to the fantasy category, she was meant to pick a book for me. And she sent me the description of a book and the cover of a book. And she accidentally sent me the wrong cover, but I was just looking at the cover. And so I ended up reading the Alexis Henderson. Meanwhile, she meant to send me the cover of The Tainted Cup. So she selected this for me to read last year and I didn't do it. And I've been trying to make up for it ever since. I've been thinking of what video to slot this into. One that I had in mind was like a books I was supposed to read kind of video, but I just can't think of enough good ones to fulfill that. So I figured I would just read this like at some point in the year, and we're coming up on the end of the year and I need to get to it. So I'm just gonna read it now. The Buzzword reading challenge for the covers is foliage, and this is foliage. Foliage is specifically about like plant matter. It can include flowers, but it's supposed to be leaves and the other roughage, is that the right word? And this cover is really the embodiment of that. It has all of this greenery. And then I started the book last night and it's literally about a man who, I think it was a man, right? Who dies being consumed basically by a tree. We have this detective and she has an assistant and she sends him out to investigate all of these things to figure out if like she wants to take on the investigation. And he arrives at this place at the beginning and there is this person who has been like impaled by a tree, but the tree is also like a part of them. It's growing in and out of their body. You can barely even tell it's a human, which was just a very fascinating piece of imagery. And we're getting all of this magical explanation of how people can do different things. He's known as an engraver, where he can like memorize everything around him into his mind so he can then deliver the information to other people with like 100% accuracy. And he uses this scent as a trigger. So he has this bottle that he's like collecting scents with, and then he can smell it later and say exactly what was happening at the scene and everything that he learned. And then he gives it to his detective person, and she stays blindfolded her entire life, it seems, and she like uses all of her other senses to figure stuff out. It was just a really fascinating introduction, and since my mom is reading it right now, I figured I would read it right now, and then after I go book shopping with her, I'll figure out the second, we talk about what we both thought of this book, then I will read my second book and hit my other challenge, which is events. And I'm not sure what I'm going to read yet. I had a couple ideas last month, but I wanted to, I know, combine the foliage and the event. And so those were most of my ideas, but now I need to come up with something else because I'm not combining the two challenges anymore. But I don't know what that's gonna be. Hello. I'm currently caramelizing some onions. I'm making these scone bun things to go with salad for dinner. I will share the recipe with you if they end up tasting good. But the recipe had me buying self-raising flour, and I don't know why. And I've never bought it before, but here we are. What do I need to update you on? The book, and I just got a package in the mail, some phone cases. So I thought we would look at them. I had to get a new phone recently because mine was having some issues. So I got the Google 10 Plus. Is this the Plus? I can't remember. Pro? I don't know and I don't care. But I ordered cases from Pella for the first time. Look how pretty this one is. I got two. I feel like it was cheaper shipping, or I would buy one, get one 50% off or something like that. And I really like the texture, but I don't know if a pop socket will stick to this, but I think I have a B one somewhere in my drawer because I bought two one time. Let's see. Let's check the fit. It's great. Hooray. Wait, this is so pretty. Okay, I need to get a pop socket that matches this because I think my B one I'll put on this and I'll go back and forth. As far as the Tainted Cup, I feel like my mom is probably loving it. I'm not a super detective girl. Like, I prefer reading from an amateur detective when I'm reading mysteries and thrillers, and this one is a mystery in a fantasy situation. I will say it's a lot higher fantasy than I was expecting. I obviously knew it was fantasy, but I didn't expect it to be like a different, you know, planet and different days and different months, and like everything has a different name and so much different stuff happening. It's not urban fantasy. Maybe I thought it was more urban fantasy. I think I am having a little trouble really getting into it. I'm taking my time through it. I've been reading it for 3 days now, and I just hit like 200 pages. It's Sherlock Holmes inspired, apparently. I've never consumed anything Sherlock and Watson. Like, I don't know anything, and that makes me uncultured, and that's fine. But I think my mom is into stuff like that. Can't even tell you the plot. Like, they're solving a murder. There's this one murder, but there's also kind of this underground answer maybe for all of the other murders, all the other deaths that have occurred, and they're linking things together, this couple of detectives. I think each of them kind of have secrets from each other that we're going to find out. We just got a little insight into like the abilities he doesn't have, because he's like so capable and so perfect and can memorize everything, but he really struggles with a certain element, and I just encountered that and how he was trying to memorize something but couldn't. And we're talking a lot about political stuff, like people who were doing things, you know, behind the scenes and the hierarchies, and I don't know, I'm really trying to appreciate this and love this because I know like everybody else does, but for me right now in this situation, I am having just a fine time with it. Hoping that I would end this with like a moment, like a shock moment, like an oh my god reaction. This is kind of worst case scenario for me in this context, that the Buzzword videos are only 2 books. Like, I never do videos that are only 2 book reviews, and the hope is that I have a lot to say to fill up all the time because there's only 2 book reviews. I don't have anything to say about this. Like, I really head empty. Like, I feel like I was just reading it. Like, I wasn't invested at any point. I didn't feel really close to the narrative. I don't know how to even explain my 3-star rating, but like finishing it, it feels like a 3. This is one of those ones, I've had a lot of these this year that feel like objectively higher, and I can recognize that this is a good book, and I think most people have liked it, and there's a reason for it. It has the makings of a lot of books. Like, it feels familiar. It follows a lot of typical story beats that you would expect, but at the same time, it brings something really unique to the table. It's similar to things that I've read. It introduces certain ideas as far as like the alchemical arts and learning about these villains, I guess I would call them, to not give anything away. I really liked the idea of like how people were changed, manipulated, like not mentally, but like physically. That was just a really fascinating element. What do I wish it did differently? I don't know. I guess it takes a lot for me to want to read a high fantasy to begin with and be invested in a high fantasy to begin with. And it also takes a lot for me to be invested in a detective focused story. So the combination of those two things just left me kind of fine. Like, I was fine navigating the story. I wish that I loved these characters. I wonder if other people read this and they just are obsessed with them. Like, I think their dynamic is interesting. Their abilities are really interesting, but I wasn't pulled in by how they were written. Also, quick update, those scones, incredible. I will post the recipe down below. They were so good. It was like goat cheese, red onion, butter and flour, like just delicious. Update on my Pella is, I don't know if that's how you pronounce this, case, hate it. I already took it off my phone. These buttons on the side, like, it's so hard to push. Okay, here. You don't care. But like, if I want to turn on my phone, it's just a click. Just like if there was no case on it, like the volume. Okay, in here, and especially like if I have my, oh my God. Like if you're holding the phone and you push it, it's not crazy. But like having the pop socket on and I don't have that much like leverage, it literally like hurts my hand. So I am just a weak little bitch apparently, but I regret getting the phone cases. Maybe I'll just order this one in like 3 more colors. I'll see you tomorrow when I'm book shopping. Hello, here we are.
Here we are again.
And we're matching again.
Yeah, except you're dressed for winter and I'm dressed for summer.
I thought it was cold. We need to update from last time. I bought 1 book. Don't know what it was, but I did read it.
Oh, it had the train on it, on the cover.
Oh
right?
yeah, 5 survive, 5 found dead, 5.
5 somethings.
They did something, and I gave it 4 stars.
Okay.
And I liked it. That's my only update.
That's it?
Yeah,
That's all.
That's it.
It's all me, huh?
Yeah, you're the star.
Jeez.
The comments are like, oh, we love Mama. Bring her back. Please do this again next year. Oh, she's the light of our lives.
I know I started with Dungeon Crawler Carl.
That is the one probably everybody wants an update for.
I quite enjoyed it.
I figured.
A 4.
Okay,
It was a
great.
4.
And you will continue in the series?
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind continuing the journey. Maybe I read The Library at Mount Char next.
Oh, you finished that one?
I did.
Okay. That was on your list of the recommendations for
Yes.
brain-breaking books. Did you break your brain?
It strained it. Of the 4 books on that list of
Yeah.
brain-breaking books, that was the only one that I didn't really enjoy so much. Maybe the last 25% of the book, I was like, oh, okay, I see. I understand now. But for the first 3/4 of the book, I was like, what? What else was there? Oh, The Tainted Cup. Did you read that?
Yeah.
And?
Oh my God.
And?
You do love it?
Yeah.
I figured. As I was reading it, I was like, this is so for my mom.
I mean, at its core, it's a basic whodunit.
I loved the senses, because I was actually watching some TikToks recently where people were talking about how they literally like mix up their senses.
Yeah.
How some people like, you know,
Can smell colors.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
because like there are some things that are like really closely tied. So like the tie to memory and smell is like a real thing. And so I thought it was fun that was integrated into there. I love alchemy. I love botanical stuff. I love, you know, when you have an ability, there's also like a flaw to it. So I liked all the dynamics of that.
There's a trade-off. Yeah.
Yeah, I gave it a 3. I didn't have the greatest time because the political stuff was too much for me.
Oh.
I don't care about the empire. I don't care about learning all the other stuff.
The world was interesting, like the big creature. There was one part that made me laugh out loud. There was a curse. Like, God damn it. But
Yeah.
the curse was Titan's holy taint. I laughed out loud at that.
It is a series. Did you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's going to be 3 books. I think the second one might be out.
It wasn't a 5.
Okay.
I'm not even sure it was a
Okay.
3.75.
But you had a good time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was fun. And then, so segueing into detectives, one of the other ones I read was The Curator. It was one I picked up out
one of
of
the bargain section?
Yeah. I really liked it.
Oh, good.
And it read like one of the murder mysteries that I watch on PBS. Like, I could see David Tennant as the lead character, you know, or Michael Sheen, you know. It said dark and twisty. It delivered on the dark and twisty.
Okay, great.
Definitely. I really, really liked reading that.
Nice when you find something, especially in the bargain section too, because like you never know why something is there.
Exactly.
Like maybe it's like nobody was buying it, so you have to sell it for $3.
Yeah.
And then it's a hit.
Yeah,
That's great.
And then there was the one that was that you gave me that it was recommended for me.
Was that Kings of Wild?
Yes, Kings of
Yeah.
Wild. It was
Did you finish it?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I read them all. I finished everything.
Incredible.
It was a quest. Something was missing. I don't know. It didn't quite do it for me.
It was kinda long, right?
It was fine. Yeah. Yeah. It was a 3.
Okay. We're getting numbers.
I'm learning. What else did I read?
You can look back
There
on
was
it.
another little one.
You didn't read anything that you didn't read anything else secretly.
No. I do have a book sitting on my nightstand.
What is it?
The one your brother gave me.
Oh my God. My mother's gonna read House of Leaves, apparently, you guys. She doesn't even know what it is.
I read Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I thought my son would enjoy it. So I gave it to him to read, and in return he gave me House of Leaves. So we'll see how that goes.
So crazy.
No, the Sean McGuire one.
Oh, the one I got from the library.
Yes, that was the 5th book. I closed it and I didn't look at what it was called.
Cryptid. You just looked right at the photo. Discount Armageddon, an encrypted novel.
What did I think of that? I guess it didn't make much of an impression.
Okay.
She's a hunter of some sort. No, well, it's like an organized monster hunters. All monsters should die, and humans are the only thing that should be existing. And she is part of a family who left the Covenant, and they don't believe that all the monsters should be killed. So some of the creatures were interesting.
You're not going to continue in that series. Thank you for all your reviews.
Oh, you're so welcome.
What are we looking for today?
I have heard about a book called Aftertaste.
Okay. Is it this?
Yes.
A food story to binge, a ghost story to devour, a love story to savor.
So he's a chef, and he has discovered that he can reconnect people with their dearly departed through food.
Interesting.
What are you looking for?
Okay, so I actually ended up reading The Tainted Cup. I've already started this video without you. I read The Tainted Cup for the foliage prompt. Covers with foliage. Because there's like all that greenery on the side.
Yep.
And as soon as I started, I was like, oh, this guy got consumed by a tree. Foliage.
Yep.
Perfect.
For sure.
The title prompt is events. So it's anything that takes place in a certain period of time.
Okay.
So it could be like birthday, wedding, but it could also be, you know, a month of the year, or it could be a season, some type of activity.
Okay.
I might just buy like 10 other things though, because it is Tuesday. It's a new release Tuesday.
Oh my god.
So there's new stuff, and I'm gonna see what they have. I see it.
Is it here?
I see it. There's 3 of them.
Aftertaste. Here we go. That's the one.
I feel like the cover is just so generic. Like it doesn't look as intriguing as it sounds.
If you look it up online, some of the covers.
Is there a different like UK cover that's way better?
Yes.
Nice.
Absolutely. What about we love the nightlife?
Yeah, is nightlife an event? I don't know.
It's more like a mood.
To bleed? That's kind of an event. It's a good pick right out the gate. Look at that cover of Misery.
Nice.
I might need this.
I like that.
I love that. Ooh.
Ghost that ate us.
I like that cover too. Oh, here's the... Oh, wow. The sequel. I didn't know it was out already.
Sequel for what?
Tainted Cup, sorry.
Oh. Oh.
An Anna and Dim Mystery. Ooh. I just read this. I feel like you might like it. Yeah? It's like Indiana Jones, The Mummy, but a romance.
Like Romancing the Stone?
Yes.
Cool.
But also fantasy.
Huh?
A little bit of fantasy.
Okay. Birth of a Dynasty, that's an event.
Sure.
Second Death.
Death.
That's an event.
That's an event. We're back! Wow! That might have been our quickest shopping trip. We got in and out pretty quickly. We stopped by a cookie place. So I figured we should do a cookie taste test. It's called Chomp if you're in the Okanagan. They're about to have their grand opening, and because I'm still devastated they don't have crumble cookies here, this is my alternative. We are getting a Chipotle though. I know I have some people here who say that they live near me. Like I have Okanagan people here. So if you didn't know, we're getting a Chipotle. And it's gonna change my life. I know it's not Mexican food, but I have found some like Mexican places that I do like.
Yeah.
That are almost comparable to Chipotle.
Mucho Burrito's not bad.
Yeah, I really like Mucho Burrito. But every time we go to Vancouver, I'm like, Chipotle can't be as good as I remember. And it is. Every time. I'm like, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
I got Sweet Heat, which just came out today, maybe. This is the sequel to one of my favorite romances. It doesn't need a sequel, but I'm gonna read it anyway. Check it out. This is not an event. Your turn. You already pitched this one to you. But look at it.
They did have it in stock. I've seen other covers that I like better, but, you know. It's what's inside that counts, right?
I'm actually really excited to hear your review of it next month. I think next month we're going to go to the library book sale.
Yeah.
And so that's only in a couple weeks. So get to it.
Okay.
The pressure's on. But we had a reasonable haul today.
Yes.
Sometimes we pick up.
Last time I had 5 to read, and I did it.
Here's my next one. The Second Death of Locke. I am really excited about this one. It's a brand new release, and I think death is an event.
I was going to say, is that your event one?
But now that I'm thinking about it, next month the prompt is a weapon on the cover.
Oh.
And I never read things with weapons on the cover, so maybe I should save it. Maybe I'll just browse my shelves, and I'll hold on to this.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Oh, you just happened across this on the shelves. I didn't realize it was out yet.
This keeps happening to us.
Right? Three Shattered Souls.
I think this is like the 3rd time we've gone to a bookstore and you've been like, there's a sequel to a book I've read.
Right?
There's going to be 5 of these because it's counting down.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't really know what the series is. Would you recommend it to the people? I guess if you're reading the 3rd one.
If you're into magic and quests, I think I can handle 2.
My final book is 21 Things You Need to Know About Indigenous Self-Government. Conversation's an event.
It is.
A conversation about dismantling the Indian Act. I read Bob Joseph's original book, 21 Things You May Not Know About the Indian Act, a couple years ago. This is a kind of continuation of that. Oh, and then you got this.
Oh, you bought that.
She said she needed a notepad, but then she saw the price and didn't like it.
Yeah.
But it's so cute.
It is cute.
Here's our final
Thank
haul.
you.
Now I have to do a cookie taste test real quick.
Those are huge.
These are big cookies. Look at that. I don't want to break open the one you want to take home, but if you take it into the house, what if you have to share it?
Papa will have a bite.
Okay, let's try the cookies and cream, I think.
All right.
It's incredible.
Tastes like cookie.
I love it. Yeah, it is the kind of cookie that I feel like we could make. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like hard to say $7 is worth it. We recommend. The cookie I was most excited to try is this one. It's carrot cake. If you know me, oh my god, it smells so strong like carrot cake. If you know me, you know that. How do you break it open? You're not supposed to break it open. That's probably, I should be using a knife. Carrot cake is like one of the only cake flavors I like. There's full white chocolate. I don't like white chocolate though, but there's full chips baked into here. It's crazy. There's so much icing. I mean, you could clearly see that. I feel like I wouldn't buy this again. I would buy it if it was just the cookie without all the icing inside. The edge is better. It tastes really similar to, I know it's not pumpkin, but it tastes really similar to the pumpkin scones that Starbucks has or used to have. We need to figure out what I'm reading for the event challenge. There were so many options at the bookstore that I was like, I bet if I look at my TBR shelf, there is just as many options here. So this just made sense. I mean, wax, that could be an event. The unveiling, to unveil something is an event, am I right? That's for the book club. Bewitching. I originally was gonna pick this one, The Wedding Dashers. I'm just not in the space for contemporary romance right now. Like I've read enough of it, I'm good. Revenge, oh, that's not the what's the next one? Peril? I don't know if that's an event. Snooping, I feel like could be an event. Midnight, we're talking about time. I think this one is solidly an event. I don't really want to read a thriller. I have these 3 up from the library. Cross My Heart, this is not a ghost story. The view was exhausting. Is a story an event? I don't know. Future could be an event. I just recently got this one and I don't even know what this title means. Hafsatu Bebi. I don't know if that's someone's name or if that means something. Oh, Hafsatu is her name. Okay. Oh, speaking of words I don't know, what does catabasis mean? Because I'm reading this month anyway. Catabasis, noun, ancient Greek, hero's descent into the underworld. I feel like a hero's descent into the underworld is no doubt an event. The term is used in a broad sense of any journey to the realm of the dead. A catabasis is similar to a nekia or necromancy where one experiences a vision of the underworld or its inhabitants. I've been thinking like, what vlog should I read this for? And I was just not going to, and I was just going to review it at the end of the month in my wrap up. But wait, this could be considered an event. Do I really want to read something fantastical right after my last fantastical read? I don't know. These covers, I'm sure, do look beautiful side by side though. They're both green. Oh god, maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it. Everyone is sharing their opinions of this, so let me throw my hat in the ring. Tell you if it's worth reading or not. I am an R.F. Kuang girl. I haven't read her big series, but I love Yellowface, gave it a 4.5. Love Babel, gave it a 4.5. I think the critiques that I've seen of any of her works, it's just so bright white. I guess to get like the colors here, but wow, that is like blinding. I'm sure all the critiques are valid, but I do feel like a lot of critiques come at her books as if they're trying to be the most perfect representation of something. Like, because I think people speak so highly about things like Babel, people will then come out of the woodwork and be like, it's actually not as good as everyone says because it fails in this and this and this, and it's not actually this great literary masterpiece that people say, when it's like, it's just a book. Like, just treat it like any other book. Like, not every book here is trying to be the greatest book of all time or giving this incredible commentary and like is the now standard for this type of conversation. I think people have said that it reads too academic. People have come back and said it doesn't read academic at all. Like, you people clearly aren't academics, or you wouldn't think that. Everyone has an opinion about it. And I'm interested to know exactly what the plot involves. And I guess I'm going to share this journey with you. I didn't know this is where the day was going, but yeah, I'll let you know when I've read maybe like 50 or 100 pages. Okay, I'm 77 pages in. I stopped right when there was this little explanation. Hell is a campus. There's been some doodles which are fun, explaining certain things, how people visualize stuff. We have Alice and Peter. They are rivals, I guess, academically. And there's this advisor they have, and Alice accidentally contributes to him being sent to hell. So she is responsible for going in and getting him out. And Peter is along for the ride. Definitely much more accessible than I thought. I felt like this was going to be a really intense one, like, you know, where the fantasy is just like so thorough. But it has been very readable. I've been getting it through it really quickly. I like the explanations of hell, how it exists for different people and how it's being visualized and seen as like a campus and how they're gonna have to navigate it. This is really interesting. I already laughed out loud at one part. I don't know about their dynamic as like romantic interests for each other. I guess we'll see how I feel about that. But I really like books like this where it is basically the real world. Everything is really familiar, but there's also just magic. So they go to school, they take all these courses, and one of those courses happens to be magic, and they're learning all of this magical stuff. Alice has already made some mistakes, but also she's being challenged in a certain way. And I think there's going to be a lot of commentary on academics and accessibility and stuff like that. This is actually one of my 5-star predictions of the year. I made 10 of them at the end of last year, and I only have this one and one more to read before I can do a reaction video to that video. I can't wait to see what I said in it. And I hope this ends up being a 5. I definitely can't tell at this point if it has 5-star energy or not, but I like the setup. I've liked the beginning so far, and I think I'm gonna like it. Made it to the halfway point, and that's where I'm gonna stop tonight. And then I'll probably finish it tomorrow. I'm really engaged. I really like it. I love how they're going like scene by scene through different rooms basically and kind of meeting different people. It feels a little bit questy, like they have to get through one section to get to another. It's not so questy that it's like they have a, you know, task to complete. It's not like a puzzle or anything like that. They basically encounter something new to them, something that's kind of unfamiliar, and they put together like things that have happened, things that they have learned to understand this thing in hell, because they don't understand hell. It's different than reality, but there's a lot of similar things. They're like, this shouldn't exist here in hell. And then they like try to figure out like why it does. And then we get these kind of academic papers, but they're not, like, they are a part of the narrative because it's aware of Peter and Alice. I don't know how to exactly explain it, so I need to find an example. It hasn't come into it too many times. Like, there would be a little scene, and then whatever thing they were figuring out or they learned about or that was mentioned, there's this italicized section right after that gives insight into how that thing exists, what it does within the magic system, but it is mentioning them specifically. It'll be like, this is perhaps why in all their research, Alice and Peter had overlooked one crucial detail, blah, 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 blah. And I think that's really fun and interesting to have. I really like the dynamic between them. We're getting all of this backstory of how they're kind of each perceiving each other. And Peter has kind of had a lot of things handed to him, at least from Alice's perspective, and his life has seemed really easy, and he's gotten all of these opportunities that Alice hasn't. In fact, maybe she has lost out on opportunities specifically because of him. And when she has recollections of their past, she's talking about how she wants to dislike him. It's like that classic academic rival things where it's like the other person is so good at something and you wish you were that good, so you can't really hate them, but you do because they're going after what you want. And there was a line where she said how attractive competency is. She's like, I can't hate him because he's so competent and he knows what he's doing, and it's infuriating because he's getting all of this stuff right. She finds him so annoying, but also he does objectively know things she doesn't know. And so when he gets the opportunity to teach her things, he feels like really great. She says he's a little bit condescending, but she also kind of appreciates learning. So even if it's coming from him, it's kind of good. And they both have different perceptions of the advisor. A lot of things are similar, and we meet previous students and they're all talking about him and the things that he's done and how he's made people feel. But then we do get a history of one of them specifically and their relationship with him that isn't exactly how it's been perceived by other people. And that's really like intense to get through. I like how observant they both are. Alice isn't just like this all-knowing perfect individual. Like, she is making mistakes regularly and she doesn't know everything, but then you get to see her piece together different things. And it's a really good experience. I feel like maybe it's not as action-packed as what people want, or especially if you go into it thinking like it's a romance in hell, like there's this feeling of intensity that this isn't really giving that maybe you expect. Okay, I've got 2 minutes before a dentist appointment. I'm gonna see how uneven, they're probably not even that uneven to you. Am I too fronty there? I'm gonna have them shave it down just a little bit. This lighting is horrific. I was gonna update you on my book before I went in. Loving it. There's one chapter I don't want to forget to talk to you about, but I have to talk to you about how pissed off I am because I was just driving down the highway and I just replaced my windshield a couple months ago, and I had to go through 3 different windshields because they kept giving me ones that were warped, and now I have to go through the whole thing over again because this son of a bitch in front of me with 1-800-GOT-JUNK had a completely unsecured load on his vehicle, and he was flinging all of these like bags all over the highway. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna back up, I'm gonna move over a lane, make sure there's a couple people in between us in case something else flings out. Something fucking flung out anyway. A piece of metal hit my windshield. I understand like rocks, right? Rock chips, we fling rocks at people sometimes. It's unfortunate, but that's why I have a deductible. But I've already used my deductible this year, so this is gonna cost me like the full amount to replace it. So I pulled out my phone and started filming this guy illegally holding my phone. I also had to speed because he was going 120 in a 90, and I wanted to get that. So I'm like filming him, filming his license plate, filming the speed, and then as I pass him, I film his face because I'm like, I need to send this to them because I'm only gonna get this fixed, I think, by this company if I actually send evidence that it happened. And then I'm just like shaking as I'm driving because of like the adrenaline. I don't know. I'm so mad. I just got a new windshield. Okay, I need to head into the dentist. Hopefully my teeth look glorious when I come out, and then I can tell you about chapter 20. I just read chapter 20 and I really liked it. Oh, today, not my day. Look, I look even sillier now. She didn't want to shave it down, which is fair, because she wants to see if I can retain the length, but shove my tooth like back up into my gums. So she had to add like a layer of stuff into my Invisalign retainer to try to add pressure to move my tooth. So now it looks like my tooth's even longer, and I have to wear this full time for the next week. Anyway, why I liked chapter 20 a lot is there are some scenes where actually a lot of this book is reflections. I don't know if I would say like half and half, but it feels like there's 3/5 of the time we are in hell and we're navigating things, and then maybe 2/5, that might be a little like overestimating, is reflecting on stuff or just like having feelings, having thoughts outside of the actual action. And a lot of times we're learning about Alice's experience with academia. And so that chapter specifically was a flashback to her kind of hitting rock bottom, I would say. It had her having to grapple with, I don't even know if I want to call it an unconscious bias. She had to be confronted with her own hypocrisy in that scene, and yet the reader still got to see how she deserved support in that moment and didn't necessarily get it. And there were just a lot of like feelings for her and us in that chapter. And then watching her kind of spiral afterward was really tough. I just thought it was a really strong chapter because it has really large implications for how she even got here to begin with and what the kind of climax might be for her saving this guy. Just so, like, I actually got annoyed that I had to go into the dentist and stop reading. Like, anything impeding me from picking this up is my nemesis. So I have a couple quick errands to run, and then I'll head home and I'll wrap it up. Ugh. Did I mention today is not my day? I just had to stop a child from being hit by a car. Oh my God. His sister ran up as I was crossing the crosswalk. This girl ran across the crosswalk by herself. And at first I was like, whoa, she's young. Turned my head. See right behind her, her little brother, who's like a foot tall, runs out behind her. As I'm passing him, the car that stopped for me at the crosswalk starts moving. So I have to grab this little like 2-year-old, and then his mom comes running out of the store. She's like, thank you. I'm like, oh my God. Like a couple inches away from hitting my butt with his bumper. Anyway, I got the shirt that I ran in for. That was my errand. Perhaps it would benefit you and I to read some other people's reviews and thoughts and get an idea of why people like this and don't like this before talking about it. But I really want to get this video up today. Liam has his first hockey practice in like an hour for the season. So I just want to put it out there. I do understand the mixed ratings of this or reaction for this. It's hard to put this into a box and to recommend it to someone specific because if you had this pitched to you as like rivals to lovers, no. But if you had this pitched to you as like a book that really dives deep into the critiques of academia, no. If you're primarily a romance reader and you picked this up, I think you would find it to be far less about the romance than you hope, and there's a lot of other stuff going on. It's not like a capital R romance. But if you never read romance and you just want a fantasy thing like Babel, I think you'll find it too much about this couple. It is a proper dark academia. Like, it really fits into that box, and we can put it on all of those fall lists that are perfect. I don't love R.F. Kuang's books for the characters. I think she writes characters well. I think she writes dialogue well. I think she does everything well, but I don't love her stuff for the characters. I don't think they're super memorable. I think the concepts are what are the most memorable. So if you're a character first person, I don't think you'll love like the building out of these characters. Not that there's anything wrong with them. I just don't think they're the kind that you read and you're like, oh my God, these people are so fascinating. The way they're written, oh my God. It's more about the adventure that they're on. But at the same time, it's not like a capital A adventure book. There are so many moments where they're it feels like they're going on these little quests over and over again. Like this isn't exactly what's actually happening. But those kind of books where it's like you have to kill the monster, move on to the next level, then you have to accomplish this before you can move on to the next room. It's kind of like that, but without the structure to it. Like they are just meandering and trying to navigate hell to the best of their abilities. And they come upon various people and conflicts, and they have to like work through things to get to the next thing. But my favorite thing about this is how Alice is given to us as a character who is complex for sure, and she has some character development for sure. But at her core, she's somebody who loves logic, and she wants things to be really organized. She wants things to be compartmentalized. She doesn't want to have a mix of feelings about the things going on in her life. She wants to be able to think something and that to be the fact, and then she can move on to something else in her life and doesn't have to constantly like be rethinking. And as someone who relates, who just like wants to know something as a fact and doesn't want to waffle with things, like I have opinions and that's my opinion. I don't want you to change my mind. There was this one line that said she hadn't meant to cry. She hadn't even planned to feel sad. So that's the type of character she is, where she is trying to choose her own emotions, how to feel about things, and is constantly like thinking about how she's going to think about something. It's not just that I like her for that, but I love the book and its writing because it's gone against the way that it could have been written, which is very structured and compartmentalized and like, let's go into this room and fight the boss and move on to the next room and move on to the next room, and like we constantly are getting closer to our goals. If Alice was trying to tell this story, surely that's how it would be structured, but we're not reading it that way. And the language and the vibes and the plot is just so much more floaty than what I have read from R.F. Kuang before. Like, yes, this is comparable to Babel for commentary and for certain setting things, but I don't think it's similar in vibe. And I think that takes real skill from R.F. Kuang to be able to write this and Yellowface, and she's just getting started. I can't imagine the things that she is going to come out with when she's like 50, 60 60 years old. Like, we are kind of at the beginning of a career here, and I think people are putting a little too much expectation on a book to be like the embodiment of an idea. I think if anyone else put this out and didn't have all of the people talking so highly of all of her other works, like, it just wouldn't get the same criticism, I feel. With that said, I haven't actually looked up a ton of reviews. I've just been seeing like the general vibe on Book Talk. That's the only place I've really seen people talking about it, is people are like, this doesn't deserve all the critique, or this is why I can't stand this book, or this is why the book thinks it's doing this thing, but it's really not. And it's just interesting that like this is the book that everyone is talking about, because I don't think that many people are gonna look at this as this like grand piece of work. It's just an interesting story. There really is so much reflecting and pondering, and when we're in Alice's mind, she's compartmentalizing things. But when the story is being told and we're getting the exposition, it is just such a good juxtaposition to Alice's mind. I loved seeing the world through her eyes. We got a lot of, not a lot actually, a chunk of Peter's backstory that was great, like the timing of it. And then there's quite a bit of time where they weren't together. And I quite liked this. I think it's a 4, but it could be a 4.5. And if that's true, it's my third 4.5 for R of Kwong. It's like almost perfect to me. It is lacking a little, like I don't know if I wanted more of the romance or more of the commentary. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't quite perfect. But I really like this. If it's on your TBR, and you've been intimidated by the way people are talking about it, I don't know, don't be. Okay. Love you so much as a friend. This was the 9th Buzzword vlog. I've officially completed as far as I can into this board and into this board. And next time it's about weapons and violence. So good luck finding what you want to read. Bye.